In 1905, a small Italian grocery store opened in New York City. Inside, the owner began selling a simple flatbread topped with tomato sauce and cheese. It was cheap, quick to make, and perfect for hungry factory workers. At the time, most Americans had never seen anything like it. But within a few decades, that immigrant dish would spread across the country and become one of the most popular foods in America. Pizza. And it's just one example of how immigrants helped build American cuisine. Because the truth is, many of the foods Americans think of as American actually started somewhere else. They were brought by immigrants, adapted in restaurant kitchens, and slowly became part of everyday life. Today, we're exploring 12 immigrant foods that built American cuisine. And make sure you stay until the end. Because the final dish didn't just become popular. It helped turn a small restaurant into one of the most powerful fast food chains in history. Let's start with the food that may have had the biggest impact of all. Number 1. Pizza. In the late 1800s, Italian immigrants arrived in cities like New York and Chicago. They brought many traditions with them. One of them was pizza. At first, pizza was mostly eaten inside Italian neighbourhoods. But everything changed in 1905 when the first licensed pizzeria opened in Manhattan. Workers loved it, cheap, hot, filling. Soon, pizza spread beyond immigrant communities and across America. Today, the United States eats billions of slices of pizza every year. But the next immigrant dish arrived from China, and it changed American takeout forever. Number 2. Chop suey. In the late 1800s, Chinese immigrants opened restaurants across the United States. To appeal to American customers, they created a dish that was simple and flavorful. Chopped meat, vegetables, soy sauce, served over rice. They called it chop suey. The dish became wildly popular. By the early 1900s, thousands of chop suey restaurants existed across America. It helped introduce millions of Americans to Chinese cuisine. But the next dish didn't come from Asia. It came from Jewish immigrants in New York. Number 3. The bagel. When Eastern European Jewish immigrants arrived in New York in the late 1800s, they brought a unique bread with them, a boiled, ring-shaped roll with a chewy texture, the bagel. At first, bagels were sold mainly inside Jewish bakeries, but over time, they spread across the city, eventually across the country. Today, bagels are a breakfast staple for millions of Americans. But the next immigrant dish helped create the American sandwich culture we know today. Number 4. The deli sandwich. Jewish delicatessens became popular gathering places in cities like New York and Chicago. Inside these delis, customers ordered sandwiches stacked high with meats like pastrami and corned beef, served on rye bread, often with mustard and pickles. These deli sandwiches helped turn the sandwich into one of America's favorite meals. But the next dish changed something even bigger. It helped shape American barbecue culture. Number 5. Barbecue brisket. German and Czech immigrants settling in Texas brought their meat-smoking traditions with them. They cooked tough cuts of beef slowly over wood fires. The result was tender, flavorful brisket. Over time, this method became a cornerstone of Texas barbecue. Today, barbecue brisket is one of the most iconic foods in American cuisine. But here's something surprising. One immigrant dish on this list helped create the modern fast food taco industry. and another started as a street snack sold to factory workers. We'll get to those in a moment. But first, a dessert that arrived from France. Number 6. Croissants. French bakers introduced croissants to American bakeries in the early 20th century. But the pastry truly exploded in popularity decades later. Buttery, flaky, golden. Soon, croissants appeared in bakeries, cafes, and breakfast menus across the country. They became a symbol of cafe culture in America. But the next dish came from Mexico, and it completely transformed street food. Number 7. Tacos. Mexican immigrants brought tacos to the American Southwest in the early 1900s. At first, they were sold by street vendors, small tortillas filled with meat, onions and spices. Workers loved them. Over time, tacos spread across the country, eventually inspiring one of the largest fast food industries in America. But the next immigrant dish helped introduce Americans to one of their favorite comfort foods. Number 8. Macaroni and cheese. Italian immigrants brought pasta-making traditions with them to the United States. Combined with American cheese, pasta dishes like macaroni and cheese became simple, affordable meals for working families. Eventually, it became one of the most beloved comfort foods in America. But we're getting closer to the final dishes. And the next one started as a street snack sold to busy city workers. Number 9. Hot dogs. German immigrants brought sausages to America in the 1800s. Street vendors began selling them in buns so customers could eat while walking. They were cheap, portable, and delicious. Hot dogs quickly became a staple at baseball games, street carts, and diners. But the next dish helped introduce America to Mediterranean flavors. Number 10. Gyros. Greek immigrants opened restaurants across American cities in the mid-1900s. They served roasted meat, sliced from spinning vertical rotisseries, all wrapped in flatbread with tomatoes, onions and yogurt sauce. The gyro became one of the first widely popular Mediterranean foods in the United States. But you know, the next dish might be the most unexpected of them all because it helped introduce Americans to a completely new cuisine. Number 11. Sushi. In the 1960s, Japanese chefs opened sushi restaurants in Los Angeles. At first, many Americans were, hesitant to try raw fish. But those chefs adapted the dish, creating rolls with avocado, crab, and other familiar ingredients. Before long, sushi bars began popping up all across the country. Today, sushi is actually one of the fastest-growing cuisines in America. But now we've reached the final dish, and this one didn't just become popular. It helped create one of the most powerful fast food brands in the world. Number 12. The Taco Revolution. Mexican-inspired tacos eventually moved from street vendors into restaurant chains. One small taco stand grew into a national brand. Before you knew it, tacos became one of the most widely eaten fast foods in America. From small street carts to giant restaurant chains. Immigrant foods didn't just influence American cuisine, they built it. They introduced new ingredients, new cooking methods, new flavors, and new traditions, which honestly proves something remarkable. American food isn't just one cuisine, it's a collection of cultures, all blended together over generations. And that might be what makes it so unique. Now I'm curious, really, I am. Which of these immigrant foods do you eat the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video and want to discover more fascinating food stories, make sure to subscribe and check out the next video on your screen. Because some of the most famous foods in America started thousands of miles